All right. Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. How you guys doing? Do you hear me and see me? Do you hear me and see me okay? So welcome back to a new episode of the Blues Lounge, the weekly episode, the webcast that I usually do every Saturday, 1 p.m. EST time, 7 p.m. Rome time on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And today I'm not going to be alone, but I have the honor to have one of my favorite artists out there, someone who was defined. I'm reading because it's a lot of stuff to say about this incredible artist. Has been defined as the best blues guitarist from any country in decades. Someone who won the British Blues Awards Guitarist of the Year 2010, 12, and 11 and 12. So lots of things to say about this beautiful artist. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only my buddy, Matt Schofield.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Good to see you.
I'm all right. Good to see you too. Yeah, it's been a minute, right?
Yeah. So let's see.
Thanks for having me on, man.
It's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to have you. Playing live, I would, that would be something to come back and play something, right?
I know, for all of us right now. What a crazy, it was 30 years in April since I did my first gig in my life. The first time performing with a band in front of other human beings. And, basically doing the same as I did now. It's 30 years in April. I didn't think the anniversary would be spent having done the least number of gigs since that first one, there was never a gap this long, And for those of us that this is what we do, really, with our time and our lives. And then it's been really weird. So I'm ready to get back out, get it out of me,
Yeah. But, we're seeing the light as we mentioned in our text in the last few days, so we'll see. We got to be optimists, so we'll see.
I get to play with my band in front of people next weekend, so
wow, that
like
must be exciting.
Living for that,
that image. Absolutely. So guys, as we usually do, I'll be speaking in English but also in Italian. If you have any comments, I'll be helping you guys to interact with me and obviously with the great mate Schofield. And today we're going to chat, discuss music, listen to some songs, and also talk about the masterclass that we're going to do on Monday, July the 12th. And if you haven't signed up already, you should do this because it's going to be a blast. So we'll see. Let's see some comments in the chat. So lots of comments, lots of people. Do you guys okay, so they see us and that's a good start.
I'm trying to get it so I can see the chat on the side and us at the same time, but I don't need to look at us. I don't want to look at me anyway.
Let's try. Maybe I should move something. No, I don't think so. Okay,
it's like how it fills the browser. I don't think it's your fault.
Okay, something's coming up. I can see something. Okay, nice. So there you go. Okay. Nikolai Matt, very nice to meet you. Okay.
Ciao, everybody in Italy then. Look at this. This is great, man. One of my favorite places to go in the world as well, to tour, man. Normally I would have been a few times by now as well, So.
And you talk a little bit of Italian, right? You have to.
Ciao, that's it.
Ciao, that's it.
Yeah. Grazie mille.
Grazie mille.
That's all I got. It's man. Normally we go a couple of times a year and get to travel all over the country and eat all the amazing food and drink all the coffee. So.
Are you a coffee lover, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you prefer the espresso or the American?
Well, I like it all kinds of ways, actually. But there's nothing like an espresso in Italy.
Exactly.
You can't get one that tastes. We love even the auto grill. The gas station coffee is still better than anywhere else here.
Exactly.
So in fact, one of the very first tours we did, we were there for about 2 weeks, and Johnny Henderson, my long-term organ player from the UK. You know, we've been playing together for years and years. He was like an instant coffee drinker before.
Oh yeah.
And then we went to Italy for like 2 weeks, and he went home and bought the entire like Rancilio.
Oh wow.
A professional metal espresso machine and a grinder, and he was like, okay, it just changed his life, and he went home and spent like all the money from the tour on this professional espresso machine.
Yeah, those machines are pretty expensive. So.
Yeah, but before that he didn't care, and then he was like, what do I do now? I got to go home and make coffee like this. So
that's super funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So what about starting to listen to something? I think people are gonna love to listen to a couple of your songs. What do you think? And then discuss.
Sure. The only person that might not love it is me, because I hate listening to myself. But that's all right. I'll make a special exception today.
Thank you. Okay, so let's listen to "See Me Through," one of my favorite Matt tracks. We played that together, actually, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's super great, and then we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Woo!
The time is gonna come to say goodbye to you.
10 years ago. I probably have listened to it in 9.
Yes, the time will surely come.
John Cleary on piano.
John Cleary
on piano and Johnny on the organ bass. Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, we recorded this in New Orleans.
Wow.
And Kevin Hayes on drums from who's Robert Craig.
Wow.
I'm just going to talk through the whole.
John Cleary is the man. I love him.
I'm going to see him on Friday, actually. He's doing the same show as me this weekend. So he's playing Friday, I'm playing Sunday on a little festival weekend here.
Wow.
Yeah, he's my favorite band to go and see, actually. The absolute most intense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When that day comes and knocking, gonna have to open up the door.
So people are saying in the chat they know very well this album. So we can talk about this in a minute. So let's finish this round.
It'll have to see me through. See me through.
Okay, so let's fade out for a minute. Wow. So you were saying John Cleary on the piano. So it's unbelievable.
Yeah, so that record we did in New Orleans 10 years ago now. It was 2011.
Wow.
And so it was produced by John Porter, who's a great British producer who was responsible for Buddy Guy's Damn Right I Got the Blues and B.B. King. And I mean, like, if you look up John Porter, a lot of people. So he's a lovely, lovely man. And I was really excited to work with him. So he was living in New Orleans at the time. And he happens to be best friends with John Cleary.
Oh,
so John came down to the studio and played on a few tracks. And that was actually, so that's all live, you know. But we got some separation. There's the drums in the drum room. Johnny's in a booth with his organ, the B3, but the grand piano is in the main room, which is where I was with like all my amps cranked and stuff. So, but it was this amazing grand piano that John played live. So he's in there with headphones while I'm like
Right.
Just me and him, a grand piano and a bunch of two rocks and stuff in the same room. But it's a MIDI piano, right? It's a real grand piano, but it has MIDI keys. So it recorded it's incredible. It's a Yamaha, right? It recorded what he played. The actual pressure of the thing, so and then you can replay it back afterwards, like reamping an acoustic, so that then it wasn't me bleeding in there, you know. So it was an amazing way to do it, so we could all play live and get the feel and the interaction in the moment. But then, so the piano replays what you played, but it's still absolutely 100% acoustic piano.
Wow, that's so cool.
So that's how we did it, yeah.
Let me translate this for our Italians, because this is so cool, guys. So Matt stava dicendo che il pianista su questo album is playing on the whole album or just on this track? On the whole?
2 or 3 tracks.
Ah, 2 or 3 tracks.
Yeah, something like that, yes.
Ok, quindi che suona su 2 o 3 canzoni è John Cleary. Se non lo conoscete, tutti gli iscritti membership lo conoscono già perché ve ne ho parlato in qualche newsletter. John Cleary, pianista, cantante di New Orleans, fantastico. Stava raccontando che il disco, il brano in questo caso è stato registrato dal vivo e lui aveva 2 two rock a manetta e John Cleary suonava nella stessa stanza con lui. Ma la cosa figa è che suonava su un piano vero, ma aveva il MIDI, quindi comunque è stato poi riampato, diciamo così, nel mix, quindi non hanno avuto grossi rientri perché stavano lì e suonavano, no? Gli davano giù come si fa di solito dal vivo, insomma, no? E quindi è stata una cosa strafiga. John Cleary, yeah, it's unbelievable. I love the John Schofield album with John Cleary on the piano. You know that? You know
yeah,
that album?
of course, yeah, very much so. They do quite a bit of stuff together, actually. In fact, one of the coolest things, while Cleary was at the studio with us, he was talking to John Schofield, who I hadn't met at that point 10 years ago. So he was sending messages back.
Oh, yeah?
So John Schofield's like, tell that kid get his own name, you know? And so
cool.
I became Cousin Matt. That's what John calls me, is Cousin Matt.
Cousin Matt?
Yeah. But that was thanks to the Cleary connection, you know?
Yeah, that's nice. And John Schofield it's the coolest guy in the world. So.
Oh, man. Yeah. And one of the most incredible musicians, not just guitarists, but like a singular voice on the instrument, you know?
Yeah.
There's only a couple of guys that, him being one of them, that, you know, sound 100% like themselves all the time. You know, the rest of us, you can pick out like where the influences come from. Oh, that's a bit of Hendrix. There's a bit of BB. There's a bit, you know, you can kind of see how the rest of us put it. But John Schofield is
exactly
all John Schofield. Every note. He's like exists in a vacuum or something amazing. Only a couple of notes. Robin too, a little bit, I would say. You don't really hear Robin being like this or that. It's just Robin. He argued with me about that, though. He disagreed.
Oh, yeah? He disagreed?
He disagreed with me about him. Yeah.
So funny.
He didn't believe that was true.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Let me translate this too. Stiamo parlando di John Schofield, no? Perché sapete c'è un po' questa gag, no? Diciamo, ma sei figlio, sei nipote, no? Quando ha suonato con John Cleary, che ha suonato sul disco di John Schofield, gli mandava i messaggini, diceva sto suonando con tuo nipote, no? John gli diceva digli di trovarsi un nome, capito? Scherzavano su questo e diceva Matt, sono perfettamente d'accordo su questo. John Schofield insieme a Robin, il quale però non è troppo d'accordo con quello che dice Matt, è uno dei pochissimi che ha il suo suono, gli altri comunque prendono un po' qui e lì, invece John Schofield è unico in questo, no? Quindi e Robin Ford anche, ma Robin Ford dice che non è vero, che anche lui ruba. So Robin Ford argued with you. It wasn't
he thought that Eric Johnson had more of that than he did. And I said no, because I mean Eric Johnson, obviously you hear Eric Johnson in 2 notes, but you can still hear with Eric Johnson, okay, he's doing a Hendrixy thing, or he's doing a Jeff Beck type thing, or he's doing his country thing, or you know what I mean? Like I can still, or a Wes Montgomery thing, I can hear the pieces of Eric Johnson, and puts them together like Eric Johnson, but you can hear the pieces, even into the tone. You know, his lead tone is from Clapton Cream sounds pretty much still. That's what he's going for, and things like that. But again, you don't hear Robin like doing a bit of this, doing a bit of that. It's just all Robin. But he disagreed.
He disagreed.
Quite fervently disagreed. If that's
Oh my goodness.
But yes, quite. Yes. Well, you know, he can be quite firm in his opinions about it.
Yeah. So somebody is asking, great chord progression. Can you show us some chord of the song?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
No, not at all. I'm very proud of this one, actually. You know, and it's this is what I kind of try and do on every record, is find another way to play a slow blues. You know, so
that's great.
It is basically, I think it's a 12 bar. I've never counted it. It's 12 bar blues, right? So it's D, a little raised, or you know, you might see it as a altered 5, you know. And then we go to 4. So kind of pretty much the normal thing still, right? Then to an F, 13, and then we start substituting. So we keep the RF 13 has got the D on top there still, right? So from this way. So so we go to a D with the F sharp in the root. Then we go to a G minor. Then we go back to that shape with a B, which gives us a B minor, and then to a C ninth, and then we get to the 5.
Nice.
And then it's a normal turnaround kind of thing, except it involves the substitutions again. And back to the 1. So yeah, it's a 12-bar blues with a kind of ascending substitutions in the
cool
root.
So cool.
And it's one of those that kind of just came together by following my ear rather than thinking, oh, I've got to do this. So
that's interesting.
For me, that's often the way. So then I go back and go, okay, so what am I actually ending up playing there? Oh, that's a B minor, that's a C ninth. I kind of, because I'm not like, I know enough theory to be able to explain it to you guys now, but I don't come from a top theory down kind of thing for me. I've learned enough after the fact to be able to communicate, because you have to. But so it's like trying to find another way to play a slow blues and get some other sounds in there, they're kind of open sounding. Of course, I'm only playing them as triads anyway, so it gives this kind of broad sound, right?
Right.
It's
totally
a bit different than just all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Yeah. So it's a fun one to play, because there's a lot of different ways then that you can treat those changes when they come around, because so if you're kind of playing like a major pentatonic, you've got a more
that's great.
There's a lot of
very nice.
It all goes together. So that's the idea anyway.
Yeah, so cool. Guys, quindi stava parlando della progressione degli accordi, no? In pratica lui dice che non segue delle regole teoriche, diciamo, no? Quello che sente nell'orecchio poi lo asseconda con gli accordi, no? Quello che ha fatto è cercare di trovare un'altra strada sul classico 12 battute, no? Il blues di 12 battute, sostituendo poi i classici 3 accordi con questa progressione. Poi potete andare a tirare giù nella registrazione e poi trovate su YouTube, e la cosa figa è che poi ci mette dentro tutti i lick che conosciamo, insomma, quindi rimane sempre nel contesto pentatonico, lavorando però sull'intersezione degli accordi, quindi è molto interessante. So cool. Why don't we listen to the solo at this point?
Sure. I don't remember it either, so I really haven't. I don't listen to this that much.
let's listen down. Wow. Whoa! Yeah. Woo! Wow. Yeah. Yeah, they gave me goosebumps. I got it. Woo. All right. Oh, I love the line. Wow. Wow. So one of the things above many others that I love of you, Matt, is that you put so much energy in every note. And I can listen to that only on few artists like Stevie Ray
Thank you,
Vaughan.
mate. Well, I think Stevie is probably the catalyst for that in my, you know, he just played everything.
Yeah.
You know, like
he has to play that, right?
Yeah, it just, and that's, you know, I've said this a lot of times. When I play, I'm trying to make me feel, and subsequently the listener to me feel the same way as I feel when I listen to Stevie or Albert King or BB. They make me feel like, you know, like there's a physical response in my body to listening to them, that powerful sound.
Yeah. The
So when
electricity,
I'm
right?
playing, I'm trying to be in that same feeling as that they give me.
Wow, that's so interesting.
And pass it on, and hopefully other people. Yeah, I put myself to where am I, you know, when I'm listening to my heroes, and what is it making me feel? So, and I think that's what Stevie did as well, really, you know, he was trying to make himself feel like he felt when he listened to Albert King or Hendrix.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. That electricity that you can feel when you
like there's a physical response.
Yeah.
And there's something with guitar that I don't hear talked about that much, but it's really important, and it's the reason why, like, when you watch someone like Stevie Ray, is it isn't this thing outside of us, and you're like putting something onto it. It's all the music is in you, and unless you're feeling it in your entire body, this is really just a way to get it out of you. It's not something.
Totally agree.
It's hard to explain, and it's obviously philosophical, but unless it comes from inside you, no one's going to hear it like that. It's not an external thing to grab out of the air and then it comes from inside. So
exactly.
hard to explain, but it is that feeling, and
I totally agree.
I think that starts with playing simply as well, like when and just trying to say something with something simple, and then the complexity can go on top of that. But unless you have it on a simple foundational level,
absolutely,
it won't feel right.
It's never about the scales and the triads, and it's not that, right?
No, they're useful things. Like nobody ever got worse by knowing more. But
absolutely,
I can't remember who I was watching something on YouTube or listening to something. It's not an interview. Just the other day, somebody pointed out there's a difference between playing the guitar and playing, and then performing. Performing is a different thing, performing for an audience. And obviously in the time that we live now with all this technology, and of course many of us have been not around other people very much at all for the last thing. We've all been playing a lot, but to go on stage or to come up on stage with another musician, that you're now performing, and that's a totally different thing.
Totally.
And it's important to understand the difference. And we've all been in the situation where we've practiced something a lot and then found ourselves on stage and gone, oh shit, okay, and it's totally different. And to confuse the two is a mistake, so
that's so interesting.
It's worth keeping it in mind.
Yeah, let me translate this. This is
sorry,
so interesting.
Too much and then
No, totally fine. Sta dicendo una cosa fantastica che vi dico spesso a voi studenti. Suonare dal vivo e studiare. Ovvio che più conoscete e meglio è, però a un certo punto bisogna, quello che diciamo spesso anche nelle newsletter, no? Dimenticare le forme e poi essere un veicolo anche energetico per quello che andiamo a suonare, no? Quante volte stava dicendo Matte, ci è capitato magari di studiare una cosa e poi dal vivo tutto cambia, no? Dovete anche un po' trovare una dimensione diversa con quello che è l'energia dal vivo, no? Poi in questo periodo in cui non stiamo suonando, quindi è dura anche per chi vive di musica, di live music, anche per questo motivo, perché è anche un veicolo energetico importante per avvicinare anche le altre persone. Quindi senza andare troppo sul filosofico, però no, sapete che ne parliamo spesso. So Matt, we have some questions. Yeah, let's read this. So Blues Guido says blues was born in the USA, but English guitarists have made it evolve. Why a traditionalist country like England in music, blues or rock is so inclined to novelty and experimentation?
Interesting question. I mean, it's a very, very complicated answer, of course, I mean, obviously it starts with the fact that blues music in America at the time in the 60s wasn't known by white audiences in America because of segregation. It was black music from the South, mostly listened to by black people from the South. And so until rock and roll started crossing over with Chuck Berry and Little Richard, very few white people knew of this music at all, in the US. But then there was younger guys in the UK who people that are now known as Eric Clapton and Keith Richards and Jeff Beck. They got hip to this. Perhaps they heard Chuck Berry and they thought, well, where's this coming from? And there was, So they didn't have like as much of a perhaps preconceived idea of the way the society was in the US, you know, with segregation and things. These are teenagers in the UK, and they were looking to be rebellious. So it's more rebellion actually than novelty or an experiment. Yeah. So this was like some mystery, you know, like deep and magical kind of music from a faraway land, you know, if you're a teenager in the UK, and it's sexy and it's dirty and funky, and you know, it's so that's why they started. It was like, this is cool, and my parents don't like it, you know, like as many things have been changed through progress and over the generations. Sometimes it starts because it is against the establishment, against the traditional places. So yeah, it was the young guys, those teenagers, you know, and to some degree, you know, my dad, who's a similar generation to those guys I just mentioned, he was discovering those records as a teenager in the UK in the 60s in the UK, you know. And that's how consequently I ended up listening to it. It was because he was interested in it, you know. So yeah, it's more about like this kind of exotic, far away type of music. Now, like we all know it all over the world, and now
we take it for granted in some way.
We do take it for granted. The sound of music worldwide, what we know as music, actually the vast majority of it at this point was born out of the southern US states, and born out of not the best of situations.
Exactly.
But that's, and I think it's a shame still that the blues is in the US is not celebrated as one of the greatest cultural gifts to the world. You know, you can go to Italy, or you can go to Japan or China, or you can go to South America, and everybody's heard of B.B. King and Chuck Berry, and you know, like what a wonderful gift to the world. So it does get taken for granted. You're right.
Yeah. Wow, so interesting. And that's how the things went for the blues genre.
Yeah.
So let's see. Okay, this is super interesting too. So Nicolas, what is your approach when composing? For example, for your trio, do you generally come up with complete songs, or it is more a team effort?
Wow, yeah. I mean, it's sort of different. It's all different ways and any possible way. I wish I had a way. Maybe I'd make more albums if I had a way to, like have production,
right?
You know, but I have to wait till it just shows up. Yeah, I mean, we've done it all different ways. I will say that with Johnny and Evan, with my original trio, we've been playing together over 20 years now. When we can, less obviously. I'm in another country now, but less recently. But although we do have a new album that we actually is already recorded that we'll put out when we know we can tour with that band again. Otherwise, it's going to go to waste, you know. But there is a trio record. Those guys, I mean, I've never told anybody what to play. Do you know, with those guys? Do you know what I mean? It's like I bring the songs that have come together. However, sometimes I have them appear in my head as a full kind of thing. Sometimes I bang my head against the wall about it, or, you know, and then if somebody has something to add, then it's then cool. Do you know what I mean? So it's my stuff, but especially like with certain harmony stuff, Johnny Henderson will always go, well, you know, we could play that here, because he's
right.
those kind of is, you know. So it's all different ways, but everything's a team effort. I don't exist without those guys. So, you know, even though they're my songs, the sound of that particular band is a team effort, and everybody. The thing I like about it, or the like about all the bands, all the lineups that I play with wherever I am, is I'm just I want people to bring themselves to it and
that's
be
great.
Invested in the music, you know. And so then that's when it's good.
Yeah, exactly. That's so cool. Okay, so what
also,
about...
just a thought as well to add to that before the thing. Recently, I'm actually working on another album at the moment with my current drummer here in the US, my dear friend Raul Valdez, and he's been touring with me for the last couple of years, you know, and we've been actually arranging stuff together, which I've never done before, but we're doing a record with horns, and Raul is very cool. You know, I'll stand there and go this and this and this, and he charts it out rhythmically.
Wow.
And then we come up with an arrangement and play that down, still open and improvised. You know what I mean? Not like, but with a sort of charted hits and pushes and things. I've never done that before, so that's a more arranged way of working that I'm into at the moment. But that comes from the last year of listening to lots and lots of B.B. King live stuff from the 70s and 80s, where the band is just like, they're doing 300 gigs a year and everybody's nailing stuff so hard. So it's almost the opposite of the trio thing. The trio is very open, like the arrangements are very loose.
Right.
But this one, we have the improvisation sections, but we're coming up with an arrangement. So there's going to be both kinds of albums, one side of the coin and the other, next year when they come out.
Wow, so cool. I can't wait to hear that. Ragazzi, sta raccontando un po', Nicolò raccontava un po' cioè ci ha chiesto questa cosa, cioè qual è l'approccio di Matt per la scrittura dei brani, no? E lui in pratica dice non c'è un modo che segue, dipende molto anche dalla situazione, dalla band con cui lavora, dai musicisti più che altro, perché quello che diciamo spesso è che la musica viene fatta dai musicisti più che altro, quindi spesso è un'idea che poi viene elaborata, no? Anche con gli altri. E poi sta raccontando anche che a breve, qualcuno lo chiedeva prima, dei album nuovi, sta lavorando su cose nuove e usciranno anche delle cose un po' più arrangiate con i fiati, una cosa nuova che lui non ha fatto prima, è un po' sulla scia di B.B. King, no? Quel tipo di suono della live band di B.B. King, quindi è molto interessante, sarà molto figo. Okay, so somebody's asking if you are John Schofield's son. Obviously not. We just did that.
Spelled differently as well.
Exactly.
I have SCH.
Exactly. So no, non è figlio.
Although my first ever review of a gig on my first.
Oh, you told me that. It's so funny.
And it was the first gig we ever did, and there was a review in the newspaper the next day, and they said, "Matt, son of John." It was in the article. I'm like, there you go. Hey, man, that was a long time before anybody came up with the term fake news. But, you know, but I was like, wow, they just completely made that up, because if they'd have taken 1 second to research, it would have taken literally 10 seconds of Google to find out that that's not true, or even just to read the spelling of my name properly. You would realize it. But so they just made it up and they put it in the first sentence of the review. And I'm like, wow, there you go. The press. Don't believe everything you read.
Exactly. Quindi non è figlio di John Schofield, a parte che nel suo cognome c'è un H in più, e sta raccontando questo aneddoto particolare. La prima gig che ha fatto, ha avuto una review negli Stati Uniti, e proprio all'inizio dell'articolo c'era scritto Matt, figlio di John, della serie le fake news, no? Che viaggiavano anche all'epoca, insomma, quindi non credete alla stampa, spesso, insomma, sbaglia. Ok, so what about listen to something else? Yeah, let's listen to this. Clean break, super cool shuffle. Yeah. Let's hear it.
Looks like we're finished, so you better stake your claim. Make an offer, yeah, I'll do the same. No getting back the blood, the sweat, the tears. Let's walk away by making good on all the years. For a clean break, cut the cord, clean break. Wipe the slate, close the door. Looking at the history, there's nothing else to do. Clean break now is the best for me and you. Stakes are too high to keep playing at your table.
Am I out of time? It probably is not in time.
Yeah. For separate ways, we gave it our best shot. Quit while we're standing and forget the sunken cost. Clean break, kill the lines. Clean break, you're turning left, I'm going right. Time to take a different road as far as I can see. A clean break now is the best for you and me. Woo.
Who's playing the organ?
Ronnie Henderson again. Yeah, I don't think there's been a record without Johnny.
Oh yeah.
So far, no.
Wow.
Anytime there's an organ, it's been Johnny. Since we were 6, I was 18. I think he was 16 when we did our first gig together.
Nice.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
25 years, actually. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
25.
Yeah, they say Johnny Anderson is the man. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's as much, you know, he's as much of a bass player as
What you were saying?
Oh, the Johnny's as much of a bass player. You know, he's like, you don't sort of compromise the bass in the band when he's playing organ bass. It's not like he's an organ player and you get some bass with it.
Yeah.
You're a bass player and you get some organ with it. You know, it's like he's fully focused on providing a solid bottom end, which is not always the case with organ trio. You know, sometimes it's got a looser thing, whereas as we got louder, you know, starting small places, then we have to fill bigger stages over the years with. And he developed whole systems to like route his or route, as we say in the US, his bass to bass amp separately. So you know, it's like full thing. So that's Johnny playing organ bass on that track. Then the whole record isn't organ trio, but that one is, and that's Jordan John on drums from Toronto in Canada. Incredibly talented musician who could play in my band on any instrument.
Really?
Well, yeah, he could tour with me on drums, bass, guitar.
Oh my, jolly.
Check him out on YouTube, Jordan John, and he's an incredible vocalist.
Wow.
One of the most talented musicians I've worked with from anywhere in the world, man.
Wow.
So he should be world famous, but the music industry today, you know.
Wow, so cool. Stava raccontando dell'organ trio, questo è interessante, su questo brano. I don't miss the bass, actually. It's so cool.
Yeah, he's playing it like it's,
wow.
It's you wouldn't know unless I told you.
Yeah, exactly. Suona in organ trio, ma non me ne ero accorto, onestamente, mi sembrava che c'era il basso. Johnny Anderson è un organista fantastico e diceva Matte che negli anni ha trovato anche il modo per amplificare soltanto il basso, no? Per dargli un po' quella spinta sui palchi grandi, molto molto interessante. So let's keep going. Full volume, baby. So tell us about the solo. It's so cool. Rhythmically, it's great.
What's that? Sorry, man.
Rhythmically, it's so super cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of keep it like swinging and because you know, a good shuffle is not only swinging, it's funky as well. You know, to me, the really great shuffles, you know, they're funky. So that kind of Albert Collins-y stuff is in there.
Exactly.
You know, that's so trying to syncopate it, and which sort it's just my idea of Albert Collins. So it doesn't really sound like Albert Collins, but that's who's in my head. And then trying to mash that up with some slightly more melodic lines, you know, that he wouldn't play. So and then sort of put it all together. So there's some stuff like that. It's putting two sides of a coin together again.
Right.
You know, I come from, and what's made me who I am is loving on one side Albert Collins and Lightning Hopkins and guys that are like down and funky, sounding, and then on the other side, just equally loving Oscar Peterson as well. The Oscar Peterson is as big a hero as any blues guys. So it's trying to marry those two, but in a way that I'm never leaving the groove and the feel of blues to play something fancy or flash. You know what I mean? Like, so it always has to stand on the legs of this is still feels like blues.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. So, this is super interesting. Stava dicendo, gli ho chiesto un po' qual è l'approccio, no? del solo, e lui ha detto che ovviamente attinge tantissimo a Albert Collins, quindi un po' l'idea era quella, però inserendo anche delle altre cose melodiche che probabilmente Albert Collins non avrebbe utilizzato. E la cosa interessante, diceva, è quella di trovare sempre una strada in cui c'è un background solido di blues e poi aggiungere altre cose, no? Quindi conoscere qual è il linguaggio giusto, no? Diciamo spesso anche nella nostra accademia, qual è il linguaggio giusto da mantenere per non risultare poi fuori contesto e poi aggiungere delle cose interessanti, no? Quindi sta un po' dicendo quello che diciamo anche noi, no? Ragazzi, interessante, non ci siamo messi d'accordo. So cool, Matt, so cool. So somebody's asking, yeah, we should talk about a little bit about this. So somebody's asking about the masterclass that we're doing on Monday.
Yeah.
What are you going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about how to play well.
That's so.
I'm going to talk about like a little bit of everything from the bottom up of my approach. There's some things that I've had to learn to be a teacher as well. Do you know what I mean? That's an art. As you know, that's as an art to teaching and being a valuable teacher for people. And
Absolutely.
So I've tried to look in what I can offer, to people that perhaps they're not hearing elsewhere, and there is a lot of material out there these days that's information based, like it's real easy. Like when I started, unless I had bought a guitar magazine that had like something useful in it, they used to have columns in, Guitar Player or whatever. Like,
right.
I might find something out about that, but other than that, I was listening to records and just listening again and figuring it out and rewinding the tape. I was tape. So I came from that. Now you have so much information available to you. You can go on YouTube and the next video that the algorithms are going to recommend. Watching this will be more guitar playing, and it'll be how to play the half diminished or the melodic minor or all this information. But what do you do with that? Like, I mean, how do you even sort through the information? So what I found was useful was finding a way to teach, or I'm trying to be useful with, is to teach in between those ideas and more into utilizing the information you already have, which goes a little bit back to what I was saying, the idea of difference between playing guitar and performing. Well, there's difference between playing guitar and playing music with the guitar, So that will be, I'm going to try and take you through some of the concepts that might help you play better music at whatever level of ability you're at. And, that starts with, you don't have to know a lot to play well, and the beauty of listening to the original blues players is, listen to Albert King, he doesn't really have a lot of information.
Exactly.
It's very limited vocabulary, but that is his strength. His strength is in his use of what he's got, and there's you can't imagine more of an example. And I always use the analogy of some great Italian food that I've eaten in Italy, and it's really cool, but it's the same concept of, a carbonara is just 4 ingredients, right? The guanciale, the pecorino.
Oh, you see,
of course,
Italian food. You speak Italian food.
the pasta and the eggs, right? And pepper, right? So that's one of the most admired and loved dishes all over the world, even though they make it wrong everywhere, right?
Exactly, especially in the US.
Yeah, with me. Yeah, this is an ongoing thing with
Yeah.
Christine. You know, she's been making the proper carbonara. But the point is, you can make something that's the best you've ever had out of just a few simple ingredients. And so that's basically where I'm coming from with what I'm trying to, you know, get you to be able to create something really great with whatever you know already.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Guys, I have to translate this.
Sorry, I talked too long. I'm the worst guy to translate. Right?
No, è so cool. Allora, Luca diceva di che cosa parleremo nella masterclass di lunedì. Ecco, questa è, veramente non ci siamo messi d'accordo, sono molto contento che sta dicendo le cose che io cerco poi di trasmettere attraverso il nostro percorso, no? Perché sta dicendo parleremo di tecniche pratiche che vi faranno suonare meglio, perché non è mai un problema di scale, come dico spesso ai miei studenti, non è mai un problema di scale, ma è come mettete le cose insieme, no? E quindi attraverso poi la sua esperienza ci farà vedere delle tecniche estremamente pratiche per poi cercare di tirar fuori un linguaggio, non è soltanto un fatto di replicare dei lick, no? Impararli a memoria e riproporli, ma si tratta di capire il contesto, il linguaggio giusto e applicarlo nella maniera corretta, no? Ha fatto un esempio molto divertente sulla carbonara, quelli 4 elementi sono, ma lo rovinano sempre, un piatto che rovinano sempre. Ecco, ci dirà come trovare il modo a prescindere dal vostro livello, ed è per questo che ho invitato Matt, perché a prescindere dal vostro livello troverete sicuramente delle informazioni importanti per suonare meglio questo genere. E come vi ho detto spesso negli ultimi giorni, non fatevi scappare questa occasione, perché artisti di questo tipo, insomma, non è facile incontrarli, no? E averci a che fare, no? Quindi approfittatene, abbiamo ancora qualche posto a disposizione. Ok, so cool. So what about, let's listen to something else. What I Wanna Hear, what do you think?
Yeah, okay, sure. It's the outro solo on this one that everybody wants to know about.
Okay.
It's one of my most. I'll tell you the story after.
Okay.
It's the long half the song is the outro. It's just this solo just goes and goes and goes.
Okay. Let's hear it. Hey, if you like it, if you feel to play something, just play it.
Yeah, I don't know if I come out of time.
I know.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Could you want me?
Yeah, we have some latency. Yeah.
Is it my imagination?
Oh yeah.
Or is the feeling
They haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah. Exactly. You would play on the upbeat.
Yeah, on the technology.
Is it true? I know it's love I'm feeling, but I don't know about you. All the words that you say, do they mean a thing, or is it just what I wanna hear? What I wanna hear, yeah. Should I tell you, or let it go? It's keeping me on
Steel organ trio?
No, it's upright.
Upright. Oh.
Through an amp, you know, kind of dirty amp.
I'm going crazy.
Yeah, I could see that different attack.
My body's shaking. I need a cure for this fever to stop my head from aching. All the words that you say, do they mean a thing, or is it just what I wanna hear? What I wanna hear.
Let's jump on the outro.
Yeah.
It's pretty much here.
Oh yeah, you gotta get the first lick. That's the one.
What?
You gotta get the first lick of the. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
All the words that you say, do they mean a thing, or is it just what I wanna hear? What I wanna hear,
I'll tell you why.
Nice. Yo.
The other side.
Yeah. Ho ho. Woo. Oh, I love that line. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's a little nod to Robin there for sure. on the like Prisoner Love, right? That's
Yeah, exactly.
where he just dropped something on the fade, you know. Like, when you finally like got to the solo, and you kind of like you step back for a second and then just play one of those one more time. You know?
Yeah,
That's definitely a Robin thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, now you know, of course, that whole song has a lot of nod to him in it, really, in the tradition of taking a shuffle and then put more changes in there, like You Cut Me to the Bone and Prisoner Love. And, Robert Cray as well. He used to write those songs that were like blues, but more stuff going on. You know, what's it called, Labor of Love on the Midnight Stroll record, which big influence on me. You know, as a teenager, those kind of how he was writing progressive blues songs, you know, as much as anybody actually at the time, I think, marrying more than just a 12 bar, you know.
Yeah.
Or if it was a 12 bar, then the changes might be different, or the groove might be different, or just always a twist, you know. So that was really the idea with that song. But if anyone, my friend Marco Kahu from Finland, from Mad Professor Amplification. Marco does all the demos on YouTube of their pedals, and he's an incredible guitarist. He transcribed that whole solo.
Yeah?
Yeah. So if you search Marco and then that song, I think you can download the
nice
PDF. So he was asking me about that one. So and it's that's me screaming, let's do another one, do another one until I got it, you know, where so In fact, Simon Law of SVL guitar fame, who makes my guitars back then, was engineering and co-producing. He's in the room in the control room, and I'm just going, no, do another one, just hit me again, like just hit me again. So it's not comped, it's not that's the performance, you know what I mean? That's what we always go for. But it's like trying to, like give birth to something in some way. So eventually he was like, you've got it, just stop.
That's it, stop it.
yeah, really, you ask it straight up. But it was just let's push and push and push to really get, because like I say, half the song is the solo, but I just wanted to get something in the studio that is like you might get live, that really has cool. That just building and building and building and building.
Yeah.
Rather than a safe performance,
That's so cool.
Yes, and that was the idea there.
So what about the first lick?
Oh, the first lick. I probably haven't practiced it in long enough to see if I can play it. Yeah, so it's much faster than that. I'd have to get, It's an Eric Johnson lick, note, right? It's the only Eric Johnson lick I ever worked out. Like, I've never been a big transcriber of other people's stuff. I listened and then played, if you know.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But occasionally something would come along, and I'd be like, I gotta learn that I gotta figure that out so that I can take something away from it. So one of my favorite Eric Johnson solos is "Lonely in the Night" on Venus Isle. Again, the whole influence here is that outro solo is half the song, right? And so I kind of wanted to do a blues version of the way that solo is. So it seemed logical to somehow put something from Eric Johnson.
Right.
But his is played straight, but it's the same key as well. He's playing an F as well.
Yeah.
But so I realized I could swing it and play it, so in fact, I can't play his, I really have to practice. But so I played it as a shuffle, as triplets. Da 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 da. And his is da 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 like that,
Right.
But other than that, that's a straight Eric Johnson, like that's 3 octaves cool. Arpeggio, and you got to have your shit together to get from there in one bar,
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's well known for those licks that goes all through the fingerboard. Yeah,
and they're not as easy for the rest of us. But so that
exactly.
That was like became part of the thing, right? Because I'm not, again, I don't work out the solos; they're all improvised. But I decided that I had to start that outro solo with that. So if I nailed that, then carry on from there, right? But if I screwed that up, start again. So that's kind of the maniac that you can become in the studio. But it was like, that was the springboard at the start of that outro. If I could hit that and get some air off it, then we go from there.
Right.
That's the way it works.
Wow, so interesting. Let me translate this.
Oh, sorry.
I should take some notes for the masterclass.
Interrupt me and say, right, hang on.
No, it's okay. Allora, stavo raccontando un po' dell'approccio che ho avuto su questo brano, e l'informazione interessantissima e che abbiamo visto anche con Oz è che tutti i soli sono improvvisati, no? Ve lo dico spesso, non c'è nulla di preparato. E la cosa interessante è che diceva che c'era Simon Lowe, che è il ragazzo che gli fa le chitarre, no? Che faceva da ingegnere nella session, e lo spingeva a fare sempre meglio, no? Quindi il solo non è stato tagliato e cucito, ma è tutta un'intera performance, no? del solo che voleva cercare di portare a quel livello lì. E la cosa interessante è che il primo lick è l'unico lick che utilizzava è di Eric Johnson, la parte iniziale del solo, quindi quello è stato il lancio per poi fare tutto il solo, che è completamente improvvisato, per mantenere quell'intenzione live, no? Che è molto interessante. So cool. So we discuss about this with Oz too. So all your solos are improvised, obviously.
Yeah, within a theme, perhaps, or a framework of what the kind of thing I want to play. And I've said this many times, but that's both a strength and a weakness for me that I've come to embrace. Something I learned or realized from talking to my friend Tomo Fujita. Tomo.
Yeah, Tomo.
It was that he pointed out how your weaknesses can, or the limit of your abilities can define who you actually are. They don't have to be weaknesses. They can be boundaries of who you are. Well, I'm a horrible session player. When I was 18 or 19 years old, I'd moved to London and I got offered some, like pop sessions and I went along to one, and the guy just wanted me to play. So I can't remember. It was something in D, and it was maybe like, it's like a pop track, right? Some kind of just D chord, and I wasn't even aware. I'm going like, just breaking it up into a way that felt good, right? Just making it how I play. And he's like, yeah, could you not do that? And I'm like, do what? And he goes, well, just play it like this. And eventually he takes the guitar from me and he shows me whatever it was. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can only play what I feel at that second, and so I said, listen, I'm sorry, man, to waste your time. I'm not the man for the job. This isn't for me. And we went downstairs, had a coffee, talked about it. He said, I appreciate you not wasting my time as well. And I never did another session again unless somebody wanted me to play how I played, play for me, play as I play. And so I walked out of there like 19 years old and said, I guess that's what I'm going to be. I guess I'm going to be, the same as Stevie Ray on Let's Dance with David Bowie. That's what I guess I'm going to be, that kind of guy, because I couldn't do it. And still to this day, I'm horrible at having to play on demand and or recreate. So it's too much thinking involved. So to me, it would be like trying to write out or learn a conversation in advance to speak to you about. If I had all these words planned, it would get weird,
absolutely.
So you have to, it's a conversational thing. So I can only play like that, and it's made me poorer. I have less money because I haven't been able to do those sessions and stuff like that. I don't have that skill, and I've actually actively allowed it to just go now as well.
Fade away from you.
And that's okay,
Totally.
Like I say, that's when you realize that your limitations actually define your strengths. And
that's so interesting.
No, I can't do any of that stuff, but then nobody can do exactly what I do either.
Exactly, that's absolutely true.
That's all right.
Molto interessante quello che stai dicendo, perché ha citato anche il nostro amico Tomo Fujita, ma la cosa interessante ha detto le limitazioni che ognuno di noi ha diventano poi delle caratteristiche, no? Quindi diventano qualcosa che ci rappresenta, e ha raccontato l'aneddoto di quando aveva 19 anni, lo hanno chiamato a fare una session come session player, qualcuno gli ha chiesto di fare un accordo in re maggiore e non riusciva a farlo perché era troppo limitante, ci doveva per forza mettere qualcosa che sentiva, no? E in quei contesti, ve l'ho raccontato spesso anche io, nei contesti pop non è richiesto, no? Quel tipo di talento lì, ci sono altri talenti ma non è quel talento lì, no? E lui piano piano ha deciso di non assecondare quella strada, no? E di essere riconosciuto soltanto per le cose che fa, no? Quindi è molto interessante questo approccio, ragazzi. Anche nella masterclass poi parleremo anche di questo. È una visione molto particolare che secondo me interessa veramente a tutti. Veramente, very interesting.
Yeah, it's I have to give credit to Tomo actually for helping me understand about teaching as well. I really must give him in credit, because we did some master classes together in the UK, and so he had some interesting ideas about that stuff, that's not just the technical side of playing, but the kind of philosophical side of it. And it's quite liberating to accept that about yourself. I mean, you probably the first time I went to the NAMM show or something. There's like thousands of incredible guitarists, and I don't have really any guitar shop chops. You know what I mean? Like there's guys that sit in Guitar Center, just I don't have any of that. But you want to come up and play slow blues with me, then
let's talk about it.
You might find yourself out of your depth. You know,
exactly.
So it's sort of accept that as being actually okay, you know, rather than comparing yourself or.
Absolutely.
It was really very, very liberating. And then, as I say, with Tomo, he really was illuminated the way that I could pass that information on to other people as well, because he made me understand it. I was already doing it, if you know what I mean, but he made me realize what we were doing with that, you know. So,
absolutely.
very, very cool, you know.
Yeah. No, sta parlando ancora di Tomo, del fatto che lo ha fatto ragionare su questo aspetto, no? Ha raccontato anche, andate al NAMM, ci sono milioni di chitarristi che suonano tapping, quello che vi pare, però poi magari se si mettono a suonare uno slow blues magari è diverso, no? Quindi è stata una illuminazione anche per lui, diciamo, ragionare in quella direzione, non essere spaventato dalle proprie caratteristiche, dai propri limiti, che poi sono diventate delle possibilità. Okay, guys, I think that's it for today. We spent such a great time together. It's super funny to talk about.
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, it's absolutely a pleasure. So, guys, if you haven't done already, you should sign up for the masterclass that we're gonna do on Monday, July the 12th, 3:30 EST or 7 p.m. Rome time. If you're interested, I'm gonna send you a link. Ragazzi, se non vi siete ancora iscritti, mi raccomando, fatelo. 12 luglio, quindi lunedì alle 3:30, principalmente 3:30 newyorkese, 21:30 italiane, e principalmente è aperta per gli studenti membership, ma abbiamo anche un'offerta per chi vuole provare il membership e iscriversi anche alla Pro Masterclass. Ok, abbiamo pochissimi altri posti a disposizione, non vogliamo aprirla a tutti anche per un fatto di gestione, perché vogliamo che tutti quanti interagiscano, quindi se siete interessati iscrivetemi. Ok guys, let's see if there's just any other comments. Okay, just everybody are saying thank you, Matt, for your time. Thank guys.
You. Yeah, we'll really answer the questions on Monday, right? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. We go deeper on that.
In depth.
In depth. Yeah, absolutely.
Just the surface.
Just the surface. Okay, guys. So for everyone, Matt has his courses on TrueFire. Just go and check them out. If you want to say anything else, if you want to send people to see anything else, just do it.
Yeah, man. Just right now, grab those TrueFire courses, because that's been paying the bills, man, while we don't have gigs, you know. So I'm very grateful that everybody who's been supporting that, and for me and all the artists who have all been like had the rug pulled out from under us this past year and a half. But other than that, man, I look forward to actually playing in real life, to the real human beings on the other side of this screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Screen no longer being there between us, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Ragazzi, mi raccomando, supportate gli artisti, quello che diciamo sempre. Matt ha i corsi anche su TrueFire, andateli a seguire, a comprare, perché è molto importante. Matt, somebody's asking me if you want to play something just to say goodbye. Are you up? Are you okay?
I can. I'm not. Let me. I'll play it like a blues, because I'm a solo guy.
Unfortunately, we cannot play together for the latency. So
I know. I can't even play it with my own records.
Woo. All right.
I don't know what to watch. Yeah. Those are my
Virtual
guitar
applause.
Yeah. I don't know.
So cool, Matt.
Just
So
seeing
cool.
what happens. And I cut my finger the other day. Like, so this is the first
Oh, shoot.
first time I've played. It doesn't look very bad now, but I went straight through it with a knife. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, so it's just okay enough to play today. So
It's blues, right? You
yeah,
feel the
exactly.
pain.
Man, there's an Albert King video in Sweden somewhere. I think it's in Sweden. No, maybe that's a different concert. Anyways, a concert I used to have it on VHS. It's probably on YouTube now. And he's playing with the broken. He's got like a like a splint on his finger, and he's playing it. And it just it doesn't matter at all if you're Albert King.
Exactly.
So I can't complain about that. But it was the worst place to cut it, right on the side there.
It happened to me one time with a broken glass, something on the middle finger. It was.
Yeah. I've been playing with the Band-Aid.
Band-Aid.
But then it does get caught on the.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So we soldier on. You have to bleed on the guitar a bit, I think. Sometimes.
Okay, guys. So that's it for today. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
My
as we
pleasure.
usually.
I'll see you on.
Yeah.
Monday, yeah?
We'll see you guys on Monday. Okay. If you need if you have any question, if you need anything, just text me. Okay, guys. Ragazzi, ci vediamo lunedì, grazie ancora e se avete bisogno, mi raccomando, iscrivetevi, se avete bisogno di domande, se avete bisogno di sapere qualcosa, scrivetemi, mi trovate ovunque, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, ok? See you guys on Monday.